I remember calling home to talk to my parents, you know, because in Minnesota they talk like the people from Fargo, you know, so they're like, oh yeah, what's the name of the band? And like, Megadeth.
Oh, yeah, you know, Megadeth. Here we go.
Buzz about the formation of the new band ran rampant throughout the metal underground.
The network started to spread information, and it spread like wildfire.
We would get letters from all around the world.
And I remember all these kids writing, man, it's going to be fast, it's going to be fast, it's got to be fast. And one day we go to rehearsal, and everything's bumped up about 20 beats per minute. Next thing you know, we're a speed metal band. I mean, it happened like that.
Now Megadeth needed to add to their numbers. In November '83, jazz fusion vet Gar Samuelson arrived for an audition and made a searing impression.
The guy comes, and he falls asleep with the cigarette in his hand, and it burns right clear through his fingers, and I thought, this is rad.
Behind the drum set, it was just like he was like a praying mantis or something, you know, and you just could not see what he was doing. It was something to watch him play.
Gar's fluid playing lended a sense of order to Dave's outrageous riffs. And as the band began playing gigs, the metal audience was all too ready for the man too maniacal for Metallica.
The people in the audience were just freaking out, man. I mean, Dave could have told them, all right, go out on the street right now and kill the first person you see, and they would have, you know. That's the kind of vibe it was.
Guitarist Chris Poland, who'd played with Gar Samuelson in a jazz band, instantly went backstage and asked in to Gar's new group.
They gave us such an unpredictable chemistry, not only because of the drug part, but because of the playing part. Chris is an amazing guitar player, could play circles around me, and he wanted to be in the band, and that was the first real lineup, was Gar, Chris, David Ellefson, and myself.
With his lineup complete, Dave Mustaine was finally ready to answer Metallica with a band of his own.
And people were just frantic. I mean, it was just like electricity.
I had never seen anything like that. No one ever reacted to music like that.
Next, Megadeth on a rampage.
It was no bad boy image, man. We were just out of control.
We were just, you know, all guns blazing, and at all times, 24/7.
And later, Dave Mustaine gives in to the needle.
I finally realized that, you know, the jig's up. I've lost this battle. I'll never win.
Just months after his expulsion from Metallica, Dave Mustaine rebounded by forming a rival band called Megadeth. But in the winter of '83, his old bandmates stole his thunder when they released their debut album, Kill 'Em All.
I remember the day Kill 'Em All came out, and I listened to it, and I heard the first song, and my stuff was on there. I was fuming because I told them not to use my music.
His ex-bandmates maintained Dave said nothing of the kind. Still, Mustaine was now more determined than ever to outmuscle Metallica. He sped up the tempo of Megadeth's assault and made his lyrics even more nihilistic.
We're going to do basically what we set out to do, and that's break all the rules and have as much fun while we're doing it as we can.
The mission statement was to have the fastest,
Utmost heaviest,
utmost furious,
ultra furious
metal band ever.
We didn't care about the future. We just wanted to be the most dangerous band on the planet.
Then it was in our contract to, you know, to basically break all the laws of God and man, I guess, you know. So that's what we did.
From day one, Megadeth's members made danger a personal mission. Mustaine and Ellefson's appetite for self-destruction was matched by Chris Poland and Gar Samuelson.
They'd played jazz. They also lived the jazz lifestyle, which meant, for a lot of jazz players, heroin.
That was the first time that I really saw a bona fide heroin addict. I mean, I was like, we ain't in Kansas anymore, Toto.
You want to be great, you had to do heroin. That's straight out of Gar's mouth. And I thought, you know what, I want to be great.
While Chris and Gar were full-blown junkies, Mustaine and Ellefson were soon snorting heroin and mixing it with cocaine, a deadly cocktail known as a speedball.
It was great. The heroin helped you come down off the cocaine. Now I knew why everybody did speedballs. I know why they did it. And I forgot that everybody died from it. I forgot that part.
It was no bad boy image, man. We were just out of control.
The band's reckless ways only fed their growing reputation in the metal underground. When Megadeth made a demo tape in the summer of '84, it quickly sparked a bootleg bonanza. Within weeks, the tape fell into the hands of New York record exec Barry Coburn.
Once I heard the cassette, it was like, wow. You know, I mean, we have another Metallica in our hands.
I could have sounded just like Metallica if I wanted to, and I didn't. Megadeth doesn't sound anything like Metallica. It really doesn't.
Coburn's Combat Records had financed the label that released Metallica's debut album. He quickly signed Megadeth and rushed the band into the studio.
They gave us $8,000 to make the record. We spent half of that on food and dope. Chris would stop in the middle of a take to go into the bathroom to shoot up, and Gar wouldn't show up for hours because he was buying balloons of heroin. And David Ellison and I, we always had our amount that we needed to get by.
I would get these frantic calls saying, the studio's a shambles. We've got all this drug paraphernalia here. I mean, it was frightening.